Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to RDR. Over my left shoulder, as always, we got Ron. Over my right shoulder, we got Ryan. We're here today. We're changing our branding a little bit. We were doing what was called Weekend Review. But, during these times, obviously, with the season not going on, there will be moments, even in the offseason and times like this, where Weekend Review may or may not be appropriate. So we're just going to call it the RDR Recap, and we'll talk about all things current. So in this case, we're going to address The Last Dance documentary, episodes 1 and 2. And you'll be able to watch this actually right before episodes 3 and 4 air. It'll go up probably tonight or tomorrow morning, so you have some time to view the show. And, of course, you can watch it after the fact as well. I know everybody basketball-related will be tuning in, whether they're, what do they call it, the Jordanaires or the LeBron lovers. It's all kind of folk, all type of titles out here. Everybody's tuned in on this. And then we've got
my dude call them the LeBron sexuals.
Yes, the LeBron sexuals. I've heard that as well. I don't know if that's been patented or not, but okay. God bless. Nonetheless, we're going to talk about that. And then there's also been some conversation from some pretty dynamic characters in the NBA. They've made some interesting comments. And, of course, we have some things to say about what they have said. I'm gonna go to Ryan first. What's your take so far with The Last Dance? Obviously, we lived through this. We were all adults when this was happening. Had a good understanding of the game and such. But what were your takes on 1 and 2? What did you maybe see that you didn't know happened?
I learned that while Michael Jordan was in North Carolina, Dean Smith held him back because he was an animal.
He was an animal. He was an animal.
But I guess
James Worthy's comments were pretty.
Dean Smith didn't want him to get too big, I guess. I don't know. He wanted him to stay within the frame of the team because when he got to Chicago, it was on and popping.
And he didn't get that good in 2 months.
What I saw, one thing I saw about the 80s.
Don't say it.
And the guys that played back then wouldn't have been able to play at Woodhill.
You said they're not that good?
I'm saying it was real political, and you can tell when you go from 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning
forward.
Meaning what? Political in what way?
I'm saying if you look at them rosters, how did he make the team? How did he make the team? How did he make the team?
Oh.
How did he make the team?
Cause we call a lot of guys bums in today's world.
No,
but they're not really bums.
Listen to me.
I'm
sure they can play.
Mm-hmm.
But when you see a Greg Kite on an NBA roster,
we mentioned the Greg Kite on this show. That's funny.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right, though.
It's Ryan.
And Bill Walton was Sixth Man of the Year,
Hall of Fame. Throw it down, big man. Throw it.
and could barely run up and down the court. All he was tall.
He was very close to a Taylor. Very close.
And that's
Especially
the one main thing. Listen
at
to me.
that point, oh yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, at that point.
They
He
dominated.
was a top
Boston
player.
dominated them in that series. Chicago in that series because of that front court. Parrish,
They were
McHale,
massive. And
Bill
Bird.
Walton.
Well,
Bird.
to say that, and you got a great point. But watching that documentary, we found out a lot about. See, people think that the Michael Jordan fans, when we talk about Michael Jordan, it's all behind a smoky haze. It's not. The guy, I don't care what he did for people financially outside of basketball. I don't care nothing about it. It has nothing to do with my how I feel about Michael Jordan on the court. I'm talking about him as a basketball player. I don't know you personally.
Michael Jordan never took a night off.
He never took a night off.
Always played.
And something about him that people don't understand is this. In an era of the 90s where the NBA was about smoking crack and snorting cocaine.
No, 80s.
80s, I'm sorry, what did I say?
In the 90s.
Sorry.
80. Oh yeah, there was
When it was about that and Michael Jordan as a rookie walking to his room with his whole teammates in there and they're smoking crack, snorting powder. Chicks, what did Michael Jordan say? Is chicks on this
all
side,
in the same room.
weed right here, the lines over there. I left. So what I'm telling people is to understand is that dude was about basketball.
About business.
That dude was hurt and said, dude, I want to play. Hurt, went went to North Carolina.
So he could get some reps.
So he can get better. And then when he came back, we get stronger. And when he came back and they took his sock off and they started, Mike, what you been doing? What's all this muscle come with you?
Oh, I played yesterday. I played yesterday.
So that's a guy that didn't have to wait to get out there and go. So when people say, oh, this, that, and the third, Michael Jordan didn't take no days off. Michael Jordan didn't take no time off. You've never seen a series where Michael Jordan didn't bring it. I'm not bringing up other players. If that's your guy, that's your guy. My guy didn't take no days off. My guy came to play every night. A person brought up, Michael Jordan scored 63 points and lost in the playoffs.
It was Kendrick Perkins. I was going to.
No, not even. I didn't know if it was him.
49 the first game.
But he said, 63 points and lost. But when LeBron James scores 51, 8, and 8. Listen, Kendrick, you weirdo. LeBron James gave up on his team that game. Gave up.
You had a whole overtime.
Gave up. He went in overtime mad and upset and didn't know how to say, okay, let's go beat these guys.
Because there's only 1 point.
Thank you.
Ain't down 30.
Thank you.
We tied.
You feel what I'm saying?
I got 5 more minutes.
And that game is still winnable by the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I got 5
more
minutes.
So stop all this.
I agree.
LeBron versus James. It's not a competition. They didn't play against each other.
I agree with that.
They're from 2 different eras. Okay? So all that other garbage, I love when a player like Dwayne Wade says, I wanted to be a professional basketball player from watching basketball and watching Michael Jordan since 1991. Mm-hmm. So stop with all that garbage. Nobody has time for that. They always want to put this guy against that guy. It's not about that. Michael Jordan was able to play in a system in North Carolina where he wasn't the focal point and had to have clamps put on him. Then he was able to come to the NBA where the clamps was uplifted. And then he was able to play under Phil Jackson, who changed how we play. I need other guys to help you.
But guess what, though? He played under Stan Albeck.
Yes.
And Collins, which the teams were inferior, but he never took a night off.
Never took a night off.
Always brought it. He willed his
trying to win.
team.
Was the Indiana game? He's trying to win a game.
Willed his team.
We had a conversation.
He willed his teams under different systems.
And y'all basically said, for y'all to label the guy a superstar, y'all wanted a couple seasons out of him. Y'all said that. I respect y'all opinion. What I'm telling y'all is that when you hear a guy in Sidney Moncrief say, I looked at that guy and I know he was different. Sidney Moncrief, who was the reigning defensive player of the year, said, I didn't play against the Birds and the Magics. He said, I looked at that guy and I knew something different about him. When the coach of the Chicago Bulls in '84 said, after 2 weeks, everybody on the team knew who the man was. And Orlando Woolridge was no sucker.
Mike was the exception to that rule. We talked about LeBron as a rookie and all these guys who they were good. Mike came in great. Yeah. And he had the marketability right off the bat. The jump man was born. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm telling you,
he filled all of them right away.
But I'm telling you, by year 3, 37 points a game.
I'm telling you, if he don't if he don't tear his ankle up, I'm telling you that 37 points a game would have been that second season.
Very possible.
I'm telling you, he was on a mission. And then people like to bring up the Chicago Bulls records, Michael Jordan's first 3 years. Well, they was like 38 and something. The next year they was 30 something.
Well, they won 30 games the first year.
But the second year before he get hurt, or games that Michael Jordan only played 18 games.
Right.
He was 9 and 9. 41 and 41 in the 80s is you might be 7th seed, 6th seed.
No, you might be 3rd seed. That one year they made the playoffs. They had 31 wins or something.
Mm-hmm. So it's one of them situations where his
heart year, as a matter of
was
fact,
in the game. Yeah. Michael Jordan went against ownership, GM. Y'all don't want to win. Y'all trying to get the 5th pick.
I'm trying to win.
Trying to win games now.
What did he say though? He said that they were down in the Indiana game. The guys had to hear it down, and they gave up.
He knew it was over.
It's the third quarter.
And he looked. And what did he tell the coach? I know you only got to play me 14 minutes. Give me the most important 14 minutes of this game. And he said, I went ballistic.
I'm going to go crazy.
31 seconds in the game. John Paxson said, I just threw up something, man. I tried to get it up.
And it was ugly, too. It was terrible.
Hey, I had to get it up in
It was horrible.
And that's the game they needed, man. And like me and Dave was talking earlier, Krause, penguin body, tried to run back down there, locked the door on him. Because you don't need to come here and say nothing. We don't want to fake congratulations. And we don't want you running jumping in the coach's face right now trying to point your finger.
Because you're a clown. I want to address him, but I want to go back to something you said about Dean Smith. Now, I was not there, but my assumption, and knowing him, and obviously he was a tenured coach well before 1983-84. Dean Smith,
I think they showed his thing. He was coaching from like 71 to like 97 or something crazy.
He was years into his
well respected, and I feel like obviously he knew what he was recruiting, and he definitely knew what he had once he got on campus. If James Worthy knew he was the best player on the team, Dean Smith knew it too. However, in the college game is a lot different today than it was then. I feel like he looked at that and was like, well, I can't turn him all the way loose because I lose the opportunity to develop these other guys. When Michael Jordan leaves, Tar Heels program still exists.
To the roof, though. It's
so still, I gotta hold him a little, and I still gotta let Perkin do his thing. I still gotta let Worthy do his thing because they could have let Mike score 40 probably. 35 if he wanted to.
I mean, hey.
But I have a program to run. Whenever he does leave, I have a program, and I don't want it to be Mike and these other guys.
And he had a coaching staff. Roy Williams was on that. Was on the coaching staff.
Can I say this though? Magic and Bird said, I ain't never seen nothing like that.
Never seen nothing like him, dude. That's why
I've never heard nobody else say that about.
And this was the face of the league. Well, you've heard it, but not in the same.
Coming in the door?
Not in the same.
I'm saying coming in the door.
No, definitely not that. It was 5 years in. And Mike was special. He was like we said,
coming in the door.
He checked all them superstar boxes, all them things we said superstars right would be.
Michael
off the
Jordan
rip.
coming
by All-Star break.
When I told y'all that Michael Jordan coming from college, going straight to the Olympics and able to play against the NBA superstars at that point in time, and he dominated them. They did not. You took Michael Jordan and a bunch of other rookies, basically, and they called them the Olympic team versus the NBA All-Stars. NBA All-Stars did not win a game. This is magic. Isaiah, my boy, Alex was on that. Didn't win. Who is that guy? Y'all can't stop him. No, they couldn't. Then he went to the Olympics and had fun.
It wasn't a lot of studs on that team.
It wasn't.
It was a couple.
Charles Barkley didn't even make that team.
It was a couple, but
it was like John Stockton who made it back. Who he couldn't believe he made it.
I was just looking at the guy walk across the screen. I'm like, and that's still my era. I couldn't pick all. I couldn't name 5 of them.
When they showed the Chicago Bulls team, Michael Jordan team as a rookie, and I paused it on the TV.
Grand Real Waiter.
No, but I paused it because I wanted to see how many of them was high. Whole team eyes was bugged out.
Most of them.
Wasn't no flash on. They was bugged.
But let me go back to come full circle to my original point. When you look at them rosters and look at these guys that were on the team, okay, you can say the competition level was kind of edgy, whatever. But the 90s that he dominated, you can't take that away from him.
You can't take that. But listen, like we say, you can't take the 80s away from the goons because the goons numbers tell you they were goons. You can't take that away. You can't take away a Michael, a Dominique, a Larry, a Magic, a Isaiah, a Moses, a Bernard, a Chris Mullin. You can't take away from them because when you look at what they did, they were unstoppable. They wasn't mediocre.
25 of the 50 greatest played between 80 and 2000. That's just off the top of my head. I'm just thinking out loud.
Because even though
half of them,
you took the average NBA team back in the 80s, that 12, or let's say a 12-man roster, it's 15, but let's say 12. You take that 12. It is about, honestly, 3 guys on that team that's animals. The rest of them stuff we ain't got. Tall, can rebound, the physical guy. I need your help. Go over here and push him around. We're talking about, it was 3 guys. We're talking about average because some teams might have had more. But on the average, it was 3 goons. Rest of them was throwing it. Now the NBA, now at a 12-man roster, 9 of them guys can actually play. Then you got 3 that's gone in there.
Are they gonna play?
You know what I'm saying? Are they gonna? You got 3 that's gone in there. But you have, when you look at the athleticism of the 80s, you take the 5 most athletic cats from the 80s. It's 5 cats like that on every team that's just as athletic as those guys was. run, jump, do all that they could do, but might not got the skill, might not got the time, might not get in the minutes. But the NBA back then, I told you, man, all them cats look like. Look, man, it's not no knock because it's proven half of them was high or drunks, man. They showing up to play basketball.
A lot of the high-end drunks had talent, though.
Yeah. Oh, listen.
Jordan Gervin had talent.
I think majority.
David Thompson had talent. Bernard King had talent.
Chris Mullin
had talent.
I think the drunks and the cokeheads was the ones that can ball. It was the rest of them that was just on the team. It was the one that come with the line.
Because they was the one that could afford the coke.
Yes.
Them guys wasn't making
with
no
the
money
fur
back
coats
then.
on, man. Come on. If they did if they found out what was going on probably what's going on in the 70s might have been worse.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna keep you in the 80s and I'm gonna change sports.
Mm-hmm.
No names, please. But, no names, please.
All right.
A friend of mine grew up with the Carpenters down in Columbus. Bobby Carpenter and those guys came to Ohio State. Their father played in the NFL. He was a fullback for the Giants.
I was just about to
in
say
the
the Giants.
80s.
I was just about to say the Giants.
Those guys were free basing on the team playing. No names, because I was.
We don't want,
But that's what was going on. On the not at the hotel.
On the team play, free basing. That's crack.
Full blown.
And
fire it up.
And that's the thing, man. So
the '86 Giants,
86
Super Bowl
champs. When you looking at what that whole in this documentary, what it is doing, man, it is giving you insight to a lot of stuff. You go to a Scottie Pippen. And Scottie Pippen says something that NBA players do right now. So when a player wait to have surgery, they need to start calling up to Scottie Pippen because Scottie said, I'm not about to mess my summer up.
Messing up my summer.
And y'all ain't even paying me.
The Bulls were so dysfunctional.
I'm not about to mess my summer up.
They were dysfunctional.
And see, what they're gonna probably talk about tonight, don't want to get ahead of everything, is now since this Dennis Rodman thing, Dennis Rodman held out.
Mm-hmm, he did.
You know what I'm saying? So they gonna throw into that. But see, Mike had to be the constant and had to be that guy. Like, dude, were you there? See, this one, a lot of the whole. Y'all saw how Michael Jordan was talking to them in practice.
You know, friends in here.
He told, well, why is you waiting for the double? No, I need you to go. Why are you waiting?
And it don't matter who you are. Harp a starter. He ain't going after.
Yeah, he wasn't going after the bums.
Kuko, come on, man, talk to
man.
me.
I'm gonna be screaming at you all night.
Oh my God!
Stuff like that, man, is real. He didn't go after the sucker sitting over there ain't even getting in. He wasn't talking to Randy Brown.
Judge Bush.
I didn't talk to you about Randy. Nothing.
No,
you just show up, man, and sit over there because you really ain't gonna get no.
What are you doing?
Unless we blowing somebody out.
You know the plays? It's March. You don't know the plays?
It's funny when Jordan get criticized everything in the 80s when he was unstoppable. In the 90s, he was just unstoppable.
Yes.
But in the 80s, he was unstoppable.
Yes. Double unstoppable. Yeah.
So how do you criticize that guy?
Exactly. You can't. Because people, if you notice anytime somebody who's trying to criticize Michael Jordan, the first thing is a couple things they go through. Oh, he don't do nothing for his community.
I didn't do it. I mean, I get it.
But some people who say that don't do nothing for their community. The people who say that, the people who don't help the next man out. And you want me to believe that if you had Michael Jordan money, you would? No, you wouldn't. You'd be the same selfish dude you is right now. So stop. We're talking about that man on the court.
Money's just a magnifying glass.
Exactly.
We're the same
we
guy.
talking about that cat on the court. Michael Jordan got 5 kids. 3 with his first wife and 2 little twins. His 3 all black kids ain't been to jail. Ain't criminals. Got their own businesses and living a life. So he raising his kids. But yet other people that got money, kids grow up all messed up. Because you always hear LeBron James a great father. Dwayne Wade's a great father. Why we never heard that about Mike? You raise your kids. That's what he did. We never hear that because you're trying to put under the thing that Michael Jordan didn't do this. Why his shoes cost this much? LeBron James' shoes cost more than Jordan's shoes. Don't never hear that. They owned by the same company. Michael Jordan has no, can't control how much them shoes cost. Because that dude that write Michael Jordan checks tell him, man, I'm putting these out when I'm putting them out. Man, it's inflation. We got to make our money back. Mike, you'll be okay. You got your check already. They have no control over it.
And could he have done a move like somebody else? Yeah, he could have. He could have done a lot of things.
He could. But see,
he could have left Chicago and went to play for Dallas.
he could have
He could have did a lot of
he
things.
could have did a lot, but on the basketball court, that's all I'm talking about. And what I'm seeing, like a lot of the stuff you didn't know or is highlighted, they were in, like you said, they was dysfunctional, but their bosses was dysfunctional.
Oh, I'm talking about from the top
You
down.
feel what I'm saying? They
From the
bosses
top
was
down.
in there trying to control. Scottie Pippen had been almost traded 3 times. Like, at the end of the day, you got a GM that thinks he's important.
And you're the perfect segue. I wanted to get to the off the court stuff. First of all, I feel somewhat robbed. I feel like throughout my basketball watching, and I go back pretty far, I watched the ascension of the NBA, Lakers, Celtics, sprinkle in the 76ers in there a little bit. They won a title.
No,
too.
76ers was dominant.
You know, but I mean, they won what, 2? They won 1, 83.
They went to the championship 4 times.
But they multiple times. But it was Lakers Celtics. What you think about
1 and 3 right now. What we doing, man?
Yeah, you know how that goes.
We can't give checks
But
to the runner-up no more, man.
It is what it is.
They was always in the conversation,
Okay.
either in the championship, Eastern Conference championship, or they was in the finals.
All right.
They was
But
always there.
I watched the culmination or the coronation. I watched the Lakers rise with Magic.
Yes.
Watched the Celtics rise. Sixers rose. I also watched them taper, and I watched other teams rise. The emergence of Detroit, then the emergence of Chicago right behind it. We really didn't get a chance. We talked about this a little bit off the air. We really didn't get a chance to see the emergence of the next team, and they come in and knock off Chicago. Chicago won, they won, and then they were dismantled.
I got what you're
So
saying.
I feel robbed of possibly seeing, because San Antonio won the next title, so I'm not going to take them out of the conversation. San Antonio may be emerging and challenging the Bulls. The early 2000s Lakers. We missed that. I feel robbed and cheated because off the court stuff, Jerry Krause's emotions and his ego, it dismantled that team.
Well,
and they were in the midst of winning titles. When does that ever happen? You don't see that.
Yeah,
Hey, bro, you know what? We're not going to bring back the best coach.
Because
No, I shouldn't say the best. We're not going to bring back the coach who's won 5 titles on the verge of 6. We're not bringing. That's what he's telling you.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do. You're not coming back.
In my opinion, they
Win
beat
82 games.
they beaten, if they get to the championship or what it,
No,
they
they
beating
beat
the West. They
Yeah.
beating the. It's the East.
No.
They had them.
We had a conversation. Right before you got here. And that's
feel
what it
cheated.
was.
Those Indianas,
But
those
listen,
New York
I
Knicks.
feel
They
cheated.
wasn't there yet. Indiana wasn't there yet. Think about what happened in '99. The AFC got to the championship. Miami was the team to beat.
Miami, yeah.
Chicago would have dog walked them. They would have foot stumped them. It wouldn't have been close because they lost in the first round to an AFC.
Yeah.
So in looking at the situation, Mike was a free agent. Scottie was a free agent. Dennis Rodman was a free agent. Phil Jackson was a free agent. You just gave Phil $6 million for a year. You had just gave Mike $35. Scottie was on a 7-year, $18 million contract. He was getting paid like a lawyer get paid.
And he made,
Okay.
what we talked about earlier, he
Okay.
made $11
He
million
made $11 million
the
next year. I told Dave, give Mike 35 again for 1 season. Give Scottie 15. Scottie's taking it. He just made 18 for 7 years. He's taking 15.
He'd have took 7.
But make it worth his while. Give him
Yeah.
15.
But I don't think either one of Phil was the key.
If they tell Phil, Krause don't run this no more, Reinsdorf do, because Phil's relationship with Reinsdorf was good. I want you back. I give you $10 million. They just gave him 6. I give you $10 million for 1 more season. Phil's staying. 50-game season. The Chicago Bulls beat the Spurs. They run through the East. They beat them. He has 4 championships in a row. Period.
Who they got to stop David Robinson and Tim Duncan?
They don't have, look, all this who you got to stop and all that. They can get 20 and 10, 25 and 10.
Sean Elliott. Who
50.
gonna stop Sean Elliott?
It don't matter.
I knew it was coming.
Michael Jordan would have his way.
And all my point is, I'm not picking a winner here.
Michael-
You are, and so are you.
Scottie.
All I'm saying is, I wanted to see it.
Shaquille
I was
O'Neal.
robbed.
Shaquille O'Neal. He goes out. He says that if the Bulls played my Lakers, we would have won. Da 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 da. This, that, and the third. Shaq, you're one of the best I've ever seen play. The Diesel. Michael Jordan, Scottie, and Dennis Rodman swept your Orlando Magic. And Orlando Magic was the team to beat in the East. Y'all had just came from losing the championship the year before. Y'all had just beat Mike, and he swept y'all. So get off your high horse talking about what y'all would have did to Michael Jordan. Y'all have never.
Shaquille O'Neal was the MVP of the year.
Y'all have never played Michael Jordan like Michael Jordan. And when you played Michael Jordan, who Michael Jordan was, he swept y'all.
But I got Kobe.
Dude, they had
He
nobody to check Shaq.
I got Kobe.
He swept him. Y'all keep talking about one thing. They're going to send 3 centers at Shaq who's going to foul him, and he's going to be shooting at the free throw line. And they're going to eradicate what the Diesel does. They had 3 big boys that they was going to send at him. Longley, Purdue, and that's what they was going to do. Them is 18
and they still had a couple other guys. There's a couple other
18 fouls, and I'm going to tell you like this. Kobe, I'm a fan.
Scott Williams.
You're never in no way. God rest the dead. You're not Mike. You never was. You never will be. You got to meet Mike one-on-one and 19 whatever. Because you talking about playing. If Shaq talking about playing them, he talking about playing them when they was the champions, right? Well, that's what Shaq is talking about.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, because he swept you in Penny and Horace Grant. He swept y'all after y'all beat him in 6. It took y'all 6 games to beat Mike, who was playing baseball. You caught a Mike that wasn't even Mike. It took y'all 6 games.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go, man. Shaq, I love you, but stop with the garbage. You can't fit in the time machine. And Shaq, y'all couldn't beat the Detroit Pistons.
He likes Mike.
Y'all can beat Detroit. Shaq, Hall of Fame. One of the greatest centers ever, right? If somebody says Shaq was number 1, can you argue with him?
I could, but you got a good
argument. Karl Malone. If somebody said Karl Malone was the greatest power forward, could you argue with him?
Got a good point.
If a person said Gary Payton is top 5 he's ever seen play point guard, could you argue with him?
You can say he's the greatest point guard you ever seen.
Okay, he can have an argument, correct?
Yeah, you got an argument.
If somebody said Kobe Bryant was the greatest ever, could you say that? Could he have an argument?
People make it.
If people say Phil Jackson was the greatest coach ever, could you have an argument? Y'all lost to Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, Rip Hamilton, Darko Milicic.
Don't ever forget Tayshaun.
Tayshaun
was a big part of that.
Prince. and Chauncey. And Billup. And Lindsey Hunter. That's who y'all lost to.
Yeah, no business.
But you could beat Mike, and you had a starting 5. I don't even know who their small forward was. I
think it was George starting there.
Devin George. Okay, so you basically have Hall of Fame guys that arguably could say they was the best ever, and the Detroit Pistons gave y'all the gentleman's sweep. Y'all lost at 5.
Had no business losing.
That Kobe Bryant in that season was better than the Kobe Bryant, the 3-peat Kobe.
He had a good series. I'm going to say something.
Elevation of his game. That Kobe Bryant was a more seasoned guy than the ones that won the 3-peats. Y'all could beat Detroit.
I lost my shirt on that series.
Y'all could not beat Detroit, so shut up. Look, Mike didn't lose in the finals. So a person who say they could beat him in the finals, what is the weaknesses? Are you just bringing up that you was unguardable? Shaq, you are. But you got guarded by Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace blocked your shot one time and you fell on your back. While you were still holding the ball.
That was an accident.
That's out of shape, Shaq.
Oh.
That's not MVP, Shaq.
Oh. Michael Jordan don't need them. This is in shape, Mike. This is MVP. No, Mike is Mike regardless when he suits up. You got to put so much asterisk on what Shaq we getting. We ain't got to do that with. Hold on, we ain't got to do
the Shaq in Orlando ain't the Shaq MVP Shaq, and the Shaq out of shape Shaq.
The Shaq in Orlando was the dive on the flow. Grab the ball off the glass and go coast to coast.
But he would get the dive on the floor. The dive on the floor, Shaq is going to get embarrassed by MVP.
That was the Shaq that Scottie Pippen tried to drive past him and he ripped him in the open court. The Shaq in LA wasn't ripping Scottie Pippen in the open court.
He might have.
No,
he might have. Because you're talking about open Scottie, but that's
the point is this: Shaq stopped. You sound like Kenny Smith and the rest of them clowns that say what they would have did and this, that, and the third.
There's more validity in Shaq saying what he would have did than Kenny Smith.
I would have liked to have seen.
It's no validity at all.
It would have been fun. I feel right.
It's no validity at all. Because here's the thing.
I feel cheated.
Shaq, you didn't just lose to Detroit in the finals. Detroit beat y'all when you was in Miami too. and Ben Wallace bodied you then. 6 fouls. They're going to waste them on the diesel. They're going to have to play some ball. And y'all can't stop Mike. Mike go for 40 in the finals.
So
easy.
You
St. Rick Smith's checking them out.
You make a
Shaq got to stop.
Interesting point about what people say. Another good segue here. Who do we go after first? We go after KD. We go after Dre.
We can go after KD first.
Let me take this right quick.
Go ahead.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
No.
You get your paper out?
I gotta take the call.
Go ahead.
All right.
Hey y'all, welcome back. We just had to take a quick break. We're gonna pick up where the conversation left off.
Yeah.
Where we going? We going KD first? We going Dre?
Yeah, we going KD first. I don't know if Ryan want to touch on the Paul.
You gotta give me a refresher.
Say what he said.
He made a reference to the fact that the media in LA, the media in San Francisco, was in awe of Steph Curry.
We're all in awe of Steph Curry.
He was too, because when they asked him who was the best players he ever played with, it was Steph, Clay, and Russ. I think that KD.
You lost me. What's the problem?
I don't have a problem with anything. I don't understand why his statement is the media was in awe in somebody. Why are you still talking about that? You left that team.
What's wrong with him?
Can I answer that?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna answer it like Ryan will answer. That's jealousy.
I don't think it's jealousy. I think something wrong with him.
It's envy.
I think something's really wrong with him.
It's envy.
I think him and Kyrie are perfect for each other.
I think something's really wrong with him because you go out and you play the game at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
And you worry about stupid stuff off the court.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
On some of these podcasts. On some of these interviews. That bothers you.
Bothers him to the core.
You are a rich young dude.
Bothers him to the core. Like
this
really hurts his
is
feelings.
eating you up.
Really hurts his feelings.
Dude.
People don't want to talk about it. But he's a weirdo, period. They win that first championship.
I don't
And do you remember his reaction? Do you recall his reaction right as the confetti fell?
Mm-mm. I know he hugged his mom.
I want you to, right before the hug, go back and just watch it. He looked like a deer in headlights. Like he wasn't sure whether it was okay for him to enjoy that. And his mama hugged him and looked at him and said like 4 times,
listen to me.
Baby, we did it.
Yes.
You did it.
Yeah.
When
You did it. And then he started to have a good time. It's like, bro, you done already went there, bro.
Listen to me. I had a decent upbringing.
Okay.
And I hear some of these horror stories
About how they grew up.
About how certain people grow up, about experiences and traumatic things that go on in their life. I'm talking men and women that I've come across in life that has formed them to be the person that they are right at this present moment. So I can't walk in the shoes of something that happened to you preteen, teen, young, you know what I'm saying, early stages of adulthood. I can't, I fight through my battles differently than you fight through your battles.
Right.
And so I'm just scratching my head at just the stupidest stuff to me bothers you to the core, and you on top of the world.
It's
on paper, you're on top of the world.
It's some stuff that
you gonna tweet about me? I'm about to go to the bank.
But it's some stuff. It's some stuff that he does that I understand. I think I would do too. Like when people are, some of the commentators, some of the reporters, whatever they call themselves, will go on there and say, "I have firsthand knowledge of this, that, and the third," and he comes out and makes that be no. Yes, I think that's fine, but I think stuff that bringing up the Draymond Green thing, right? He at one point he felt that the ownership should have handled it a little bit different. I think they should have handled it to the way of, Katie, if this is the reason that keeps you from staying here, we'll get rid of Draymond today. I think that should have been said. But when that wasn't said, and he was like, he didn't like how they handled it, even though they suspended Draymond Green without pay, I believe, I feel that if he had another problem with how Draymond Green did the whole thing, I think he should have said something to him. I think he should have put it aside and said, look here, you sorry, overrated crybaby. You called me on the phone when this was going. I don't want to hear none of that. Da 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 da.
But that's a way that's a way in handling situations. I commend KD for being expressive and saying what's on his mind. Now, after the fact, he comes off as super sensitive.
Yes.
Because you
super emotional.
You're in Brooklyn.
And so now you like, he's different.
Yes.
I'm a fan of yours on the court, but I don't even know if I would hang out with you because you are weird.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And I agree.
He's a founding
with
member
that
of Weirdo Five Side Incorporated.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I believe that.
That's why you have to differentiate. Listen to me. That's why you have to differentiate the player
and
the person off the court.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan as a player is a stone cold killer.
Stone cold killer.
LeBron James off the court is the greatest human being of all time.
Yeah.
But we sometimes combine the both.
They sometimes combine
and
the both.
It's blurred. It's blurred. It's real blurred.
You can't give the guy credit for building a school. You can, but it has nothing to do with his NBA career.
It has nothing to do with the free throws.
No, it don't.
It has nothing to do with
collapse in the Dallas series.
Yeah, or just giving up on
not
your team,
finishing in game one because the guy.
It has nothing to do with that, bro.
Two different things.
Two different things.
I
think the guy's a great business person. I think he's a great basketball player.
He has presented opportunities for lots of human beings.
Yes, he is a mogul.
He has
I don't throw that word around a lot, but he's a mogul
and all that. But as far as like some of these other guys, we can jump to Draymond Green. Draymond Green made some good points.
What did he say?
Draymond Green has said something about
if I put it in there,
the issues about asking about free agency and KD not wanting to ask the questions, and he always asks the questions. Those points I rocked with, because we shouldn't have to speak for you. Say what you have to say. Either telling people I'll cross that bridge when it come to it, or just answer the question. Say it's nothing wrong with telling the media I don't know. Let's see what that brings.
Let me stop you for a minute, and you can go back to your point. Draymond Green talks a lot, and he wants to be heard. He comes also as a human being that when he was younger, everybody told him to shut up and don't say nothing, just be quiet. Now he has a platform to talk. Now go ahead.
Yeah, but he was super. See, that's the thing. He's only talking right now because the season is.
He talks a lot.
But he only talking right now because the season is at a halt. He was quieter in a church mouse while the season was going on because his stats was to the flow.
But did you hear what he said about his stats?
Yeah, go ahead and do it. Because that's something about.
That's what you wanted.
He compared himself to Michael Jordan, right? Yeah.
This is a quote.
This is a quote directly from his mouth.
The world be mad.
Be mad.
The world be mad at me like, oh man, you struggling without Steph, like Michael Jordan struggled without Scottie Pippen.
The dude's out of his mind.
When did he struggle without Scottie Pippen?
Well, in the what's name, the Bulls was like 4-4. Mike Steele was averaging 30.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Mike didn't struggle.
When you talk about
the Bulls might have struggled.
Say that. Because he specifically said Michael Jordan struggled.
Yeah, he's a clown.
And he also said,
see, that's the thing about Draymond. And Draymond, I was a fan of yours.
He's had a bigger impact on the game than Charles Barkley. And Charles is jealous of him.
And I have so recanted everything that I say positive about you. I have backpedaled. I have moonwalked from this guy. Dude, you are out of your mind. You're out of your mind. I mean, he's a player that we're gonna eventually talk about in overrated. I'm tired of the guy. Like, seriously, he need to shut up, dude. You're not. I watched Steph Curry come back from injury this year and talk and direct and nurture that young team in one game, which you didn't do all year. You're not.
And he's supposed to be the heart and soul. And he's the thing that he's the engine that make the car go.
You got Steve Kerr coming out there and saying Draymond is overworked. What? You don't work on your game. Your game hasn't gotten better. So when you make statements like, sometimes As NBA basketball players, you are the best in the world. But it's tiers and levels. Draymond Green's name and Michael Jordan's name should never be spoken in the same book. Not even, I'm talking the same sentence. The same book shouldn't even be spoken.
Let's talk about tiers and levels, because I was in a back and forth on Facebook this week about.
I told you to stop that.
About
you continue to do it.
About the players you play with. And the players that give you an opportunity to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Cavaliers had players.
Mm-hmm.
GSW had players.
Mm-hmm.
The difference in the players is hard work.
Yes.
Because
yes,
every player has the opportunity
to get better.
Work on your craft.
Yes.
Get better.
Mm-hmm.
Klay Thompson is Klay Thompson because he works on his craft endlessly. J.R. Smith could be better than Klay Thompson if he put his mind to it.
I don't think it's that simple.
Elaborate.
Unpack that. I'm gonna tell you why it's not that simple. Klay Thompson grew up in a sports family. His brother played professional for the Dodgers. His father is a superstar. His father was a number 1 pick. His father won championships with the Lakers. When you got to look at your dad every day and your dad telling you, son, you ain't enough yet. Son, ain't enough. Son, it's not enough. And I think that right there, now do I think a guy like J.R. Smith can be as good on the same? Yes, but we got to start looking at the surroundings and what's around you and what makes you want to be better.
Because he comes from a good situation. However, he doesn't have that.
But see,
that professional sports pedigree though. And I agree with that.
See, and that's the thing. Him being. Listen, I think that guys that didn't go to didn't go to college, that's drafted early, their potential is crazy already. Like J.R. Smith didn't go to college. J.R. Smith was good enough to go from cutting class.
I'm 17.
To cutting checks in 3 months.
I'm playing with Kobe.
That's crazy.
Reggie Miller.
But
LeBron James.
I think, do you have? What's the incentives to make you great? Like what lights your fire? It's some LeBron James wants to be the best ever. Kobe Bryant wanted to be the best ever. Guys like Michael Jordan wanted to be that guy. Look at what Scottie Pippen come from. Come on, man. That house, dude.
Scottie Pippen lucked up on a scholarship.
But Scottie Pippen. But Scottie
Pippen.
But
no, I'm saying he lucked up on it.
But his drive. But his drive. Him coming back the following season, grew 5 inches. Like, dude, his and Michael Jordan's story is very similar. Michael Jordan gets cut from the varsity team. He's 5'11". They say he come back next year. He's 6'3".
Makes a difference.
Scottie Pippen comes in there, equipment manager. I want to run the team. 5'11", come back 6'4".
And we'll hear a similar story about Dennis Rodman tomorrow.
You feel what I'm saying? These dudes had growth spurts that's crazy, dude. I wonder where mine at. You know what I'm saying? So for them to have one like that and do it was JR.
JR for Denver.
But listen though.
In them early years, you can see it rising.
Yes, but was JR drive to get there just, I'm the cold cat in high school, man, I do what I want. Versus a Clay, a Steph. My dad's the superstar. My dad's this guy. My dad is the one getting noticed. I'm in TV commercials when I'm this little because of my dad. You know what I'm saying? It's who knows what JR's drive was. JR had all the skills to still be in the league.
Sure.
You feel what I'm saying? So when you take these players that have it all,
and body for body, athleticism versus athleticism, you're taking Earl before you take Clay. However,
if J.R. Smith would have worked on his game, he would have been better than Klay Thompson.
I don't know.
Because he could shoot.
Not like
you
Clay.
absolutely are.
Yes. When he got going, he got going. He went to the hole, he had handle, and he was a playmaker.
Mm-hmm. And then all y'all spoke of, what y'all just spoke of was one side of the ball. Can't teach height. Clay got him at 2 inches. And Clay's a way better defender than him. Period.
I would love to see if J.R. Smith worked on his game.
That's a good what if. I would love to see a lot of things. We're talking about what we did see, and for you to say he didn't work on his game, I think that's fraudulent. I think he did work on.
He got worse.
I don't think he got worse.
He got worse.
I think he got comfortable.
He got worse.
He never got worse. I think you get comfortable. Listen,
this is why I say that. Let me say this while this is fresh.
Okay.
Because coming from New York to Cleveland,
he got worse.
Coming from New York to Cleveland, his game degenerated. I seen times on the court for Cleveland, especially in the finals, where he was lost and had no confidence at all.
That has nothing to do with losing something. See, we as people who have played, watched it, students of the game, we've allowed them to change names of stuff. Great basketball players make other players better. No, they don't. That is false. They make it easier. You take a guy in JR who in Denver, who in New York, had to do more than just catch and shoot. Had to do more. Melo ain't relying on you just to stand in the corner and I'm going to get a ball, because Melo look like, I ain't giving you nothing. I'm about to get loose. You need to get loose with me. Okay? So, when you take a J.R. Smith in those situations, who had to be a creator on his own, who had to find a way to score, who couldn't just wait, he comes to Cleveland. LeBron lets him know, dude, you ain't got to do all that you used to do. Just hit the open shot. He made it easier. He didn't make it better. So when you look at J.R. Smith, his numbers drop down, and he looks like he took a step back. No, his role took a step back.
I'm not talking about his number. I'm talking about his confidence on the court.
Okay, so
that's
what about games in the finals? In that finals when they lost to Golden State in 5, in his last 3 games, he was averaging 25 points a game. What was his game? His game was there then. You know why? We need some help. JR, we can't just rely on you to stand in the corner. We need you to get loose. We need you to go 5 of 5 from 3. We need you to break down the team. So
Let me ask you this. What was the difference in game 1 and 2 versus 3, 4, 5?
We need you to guard and run around and guard Steph. Because you this so-called, because what you did to Kyle Korver 2 years ago. They took an offensive-minded basketball player, put him on a slow white boy, and told him to play D. And because you locked him up a little bit, they believe he's a defender now. Let's stop. He not. LeBron James is such a big figure that he takes away from how guys really play. He changes the whole narrative of that guy's individual. The only players that have ever been to play with him and didn't have to change their game to be successful is Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis. That is it. Kevin Love, not the same player playing with LeBron James. Bosh wasn't the same player.
Agreed.
Wade had to take a step back to be Wade, because when Wade was Wade, they went to Dallas and got smacked in the mouth.
Agreed.
LeBron James' overpowering demeanor destroys. He makes it easy. That's all he does. He does not make you better.
And
a guy like J.R. Smith
doesn't necessarily make the situation better.
A guy like J.R. Smith, Larry Hughes, Darius Miles, guys who was played one way. Oh, can you do this?
Antoine Jameson.
Can you do this now? They turn Antoine Jameson, just shoot jumpers, and you'll still. And Jameson was good enough to still average 15 points off of it. Mm-hmm. Imagine if you let him be him.
But what happens though when it's
let him be himself, man?
We're in a situation now where it's important. And I need you to ball, but you ain't balled all year.
Thank you.
Same thing with who was it?
It was
Carver.
Yeah. Now I need
Dude ain't seen the floor, and I know he's a professional shooter.
But that's a rhythm.
I haven't touched the ball since halftime. Yeah. Throw me in with 2 seconds left. Yeah, we got a good look, but bro.
Why is that never mentioned?
I mention it all the time
because they control the narrative. Our voice ain't out there yet.
I mention it all the time.
They don't want to. See. You can talk bad about a player.
That's not talking bad. That's just what it is.
You're just weighing in.
But then that controls how a guy play. That controls everything about that guy. They wanted to see. Oh, everywhere LeBron James goes, it's instant. It wasn't instant last year when he came to LA.
He has a big impact.
You know what I'm saying?
But you're
when
right.
he didn't have those. If LeBron James ain't got the momentum of guys that's looking up to him and want to play with him, it's going to fall flat on his face. AD is able to... Imagine if he went to them and said, AD, I need you to just...
Yeah, you just stand in the corner.
I need you to do
what we're not going to run through you. Yeah, you go stand in the corner.
Do that. Let's see what they do. Hey, Kyrie Irving, I need you to defend, man. I need you to check the 2 guards.
That would have worked really well.
You feel what I'm saying? That didn't happen. And a guy like Kyrie Irving is so retarded, he's not listening to nothing you talking about. He doesn't care what you have to say.
But the chance to play for a title is worth it for organizations to say.
It's worth it to Kyle Korver. It's Richard Jefferson.
It's worth it to JR. He got a ring out of it.
And JR.
But he looks back on it now. You're like,
and look, he looks like that
because nobody can take your ring away. Nobody can take those memories away.
When he's at home watching games now,
right?
He basically.
Because my last memory of you is stand in the corner and shoot, but I know he's a better player.
He's a better player.
Even now.
And then right before when LeBron left, right before that season, J.R. Smith was releasing videos of him in the gym putting in work, and they told him stay home.
Because I was looking at some stuff the other day. They were playing cutthroat. Him.
And they told him stay home.
But there was some other stuff going on too. He was giving your boy the blues.
Who that?
He was giving Sexton the blues.
As he should.
He was giving him the.
He a 6'5" guy.
No. What I mean by that though is he was like seemingly over demanding, and I think that had a lot to do with why they sent him home.
Oh, okay.
That
could have a lot to do with it.
Because he was kind of talking, and you expect your veterans to. We've talked about it. You expect your veterans to lead and to do the things that maybe Draymond wasn't doing, and I think he was being a little overbearing in a situation where we don't need this guy to be and grow up today because we ain't winning today. If we were in a championship situation, we might expect something different from Sexton. Let him go through his growing pains. Yeah. And he was being counterproductive to that.
Do it matter that you get to the finals and you know you ain't got a chance to win?
It does, and I think it does because most people feel like they have a chance.
Who are you talking about?
I'm saying if you just go in the past 20 years, and the teams that got to the finals,
who do you feel didn't have a chance to win? Who do you feel that they felt didn't have a chance to win?
Well, let's just go from 0-0. So, did you feel that the Philadelphia 76ers had a chance to win
against the Pacers first?
Did you have the Pacers had a chance, in my opinion. They had a chance.
It was a good series.
Do I feel
against the Lakers?
Yes.
What about Philadelphia? Did you feel that Philadelphia had a chance?
Yes. And would you like to know why?
Why?
They had the MVP.
I know what he about to say.
They had the MVP.
Defensive player
of the year. Sixth man of the year and coach of the year, and they had the same exact record as the Lakers. And I felt that I
expected a sweep though.
And I felt that what they went through in the East to get there was way harder than what LA had to do to get there.
Did you feel that
2 7-game series?
Did you feel that New Jersey had a chance?
Not a chance.
Neither year.
No, I think they had a chance. I felt they had a chance against the Spurs. I felt that. That went 6.
It was a good series.
I felt they had no chance against LA.
Yeah,
so that's one. That's
me. You asked, do they feel they?
Well, but I feel like the teams felt
I'm asking you. Okay, so that's one so far.
That's one.
Then after that, you got Spurs winning in 3.
Who went in 4? Detroit?
Yeah, they beat the Lakers.
Did you feel that the Lakers had it?
Everybody thought the Lakers had a chance, so that's 2.
Lakers was favored.
Lakers supposed to win that series.
So what is your question? Do I feel the Lakers had a chance to win? Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to Miami.
But they didn't win.
Miami against Dallas.
Spurs again.
Oh, Spurs,
Detroit.
Spurs, Detroit.
Yes, I felt that series was 7 games.
And they were the defending champions.
Each team had a chance to win. It went 7, Ryan. Yes. We're the defending champ. We just beat the Hall of Fame Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a chance to beat the Spurs with Robert Horry. Yes.
Your guy.
They got a chance to beat them. And that series, to be honest, the first 4 games, horrible. It's blowouts, both sides. They won then the last 3 games of that series is very entertaining. They was balling the last 3 games.
Dallas, Miami. That was a very competitive series.
It was.
Yes. I felt both teams had a chance to win the series.
Did you feel that the Cleveland Cavaliers had a chance against San Antonio?
No.
That's 2.
No.
2 so far.
I don't. But your question is, do they feel? I felt no. I didn't feel it was a sweep either, though.
Me either.
All 4 games was close.
Listen to me. Don't have a chance in hell is sweep, gentleman sweep.
Okay.
But that's not necessary. I mean, you can have a competitive sweep though. Just because I lose 4 straight, I'm in those games.
Have a competitive sweep.
Unpack that.
If every game is close.
Competitive is competitive.
Ryan, if you look at a series and at the end of the day, let's say a team won 4-0, but the total number was 8 points.
That's competitive.
That's competitive.
Yeah.
That is another team executing and knowing where to roll. Do I think another? I think the Spurs were just a better team because they had been there. They was veterans and they knew.
Did you give the Cavs a chance?
No, I told you that. No, I didn't give the Cleveland Cavaliers a chance to get the Spurs. I didn't think they would get swept,
Right.
but I didn't give them a chance.
So the next year was who?
08 was
The Celtics.
Celtics, Lakers.
Did I give the Lakers a chance? Nope.
But you're a Celtics
But I'm a
guy.
Celtics guy. Didn't give them a chance.
So,
but again,
They
that
beat
was
It wasn't competitive. Don't do that. Just because it went 6 wasn't competitive. They beat them in Game 6 by 39 points.
they closed them out nasty. They closed them out.
But
nasty.
you didn't think the Lakers was gonna get mollywopped.
I did.
But you're a Celtics guy, though.
But yeah, I'm
Take
a Celtics
emotion
guy.
out of it.
Okay, let's take emotion out of it. Pau Gasol, who hadn't been in the playoffs with any push. That was Kobe Bryant's finally with a team after he was getting bounced in the first round. Nobody knew who Bynum was. Lamar Odom was smoking weed like in L.A. We talking about the Boston Celtics team that came together that won 66 games. It was walking through people. I thought it was about to be a walk in the park. I was surprised they won. I'm surprised they went 6. I had them losing in 5.
Okay.
Period.
Okay, then you got Orlando in L.A.
I
I didn't think Orlando had a chance.
I felt Orlando had a chance because they had beat Boston and they beat a Cleveland Cavalier team that was 66 wins. I felt they had a chance.
Really?
Yes, because LA was coming off losing.
I'll give you 3.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's
Like
3.
I felt they had a chance. And to be honest, it was kind of, it went 5, but
And next year,
I didn't bet on it.
Of course, you're gonna say yes. It was Boston the next year.
I felt that
They were very close to winning that
felt
series,
it
man.
was closer that series.
Than the first one. Absolutely it was.
Because I think
That's the one that went 7, right?
Yeah, Kobe almost didn't get 5.
Yeah, Powell was ready.
Well, somebody
I
hurt in
still
that
picked
series?
my guys to go. Yeah, Kendrick Perkins got hurt in Game 6
because they couldn't get a rebound.
But
There was no rebound.
that's
to be
still
fouled.
that's still on the Boston Celtics. They was 3-2, and they couldn't close out Game 6 and 7. So it is what it is. Move on to the next one. The next one is
that was 9.
The next one is Miami and
Dallas.
Miami Dallas.
Okay.
Honestly, I thought Dallas would lose.
Did you give him a chance? A puncher's chance?
Yes.
Okay. So it wasn't like
I didn't think it. But
it wasn't like New Jersey, LA. It wasn't like the
those.
Spurs and
But
Cleveland
you know
Cavaliers.
what? To be honest, when Dallas won a game, I looked and said Dallas can beat them. But starting it off, I thought Miami would win, but I thought Dallas had a chance.
What about Oklahoma City versus Miami?
I thought Oklahoma City had a chance.
It was a good series too.
Thought they had a chance, and they lost a lot of close games. That series is, they won the first game. They had a lot of close games.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say James Harden played. It went 6 or it went 5?
It went 5.
James Harden played about 1, maybe 2 good quarters in that series. He struggled.
He did struggle
mightily.
He did struggle, but
if he had come to play, it might have been a whole different.
Yeah,
the whole landscape changes.
Yeah.
Now we talking 0-3 in the finals.
Spurs, Heat.
Gave the
Walter
Spurs,
Ray in the corner.
gave Spurs a chance because I'm riding off that Miami being the champs, so I gave them a chance, and they pulled it out.
Now I'm going to tell you that 4th year, I didn't give Miami a chance because I knew the Spurs were on a mission.
I didn't give them, and I agree with you.
I did not give them a chance,
and I'm gonna tell you why. It wasn't because it was a rematch. It was because Tim Duncan said, "I've never wanted to beat somebody this bad in my life."
Mm-hmm.
And you've never heard Tim Duncan talk like that. And when I saw that, I said, "He's mad."
And it was some ugly moments in that series.
That series, they got beat bad.
Some ugly.
They got beat so bad
moments
that
in
people thought Dwayne Wade and Bosh should have retired after that.
It was some ugly moments in that series.
Did you give Golden State? Did you give Cleveland a chance against Golden State
Yes.
without Kyrie Irving?
The first year.
Without Kevin Love.
The first year, yes, I thought Cleveland had a big chance, a solid chance to win. When they didn't win, that following year, gave Cleveland no chance at all.
I did not give Cleveland a chance in 16.
Because I felt,
You
especially with 73 and 9.
You talking good now? Yeah,
73 and 9, no
you
chance.
ain't said nothing crazy
When
yet.
Cleveland won, and then they got to go for the rematch, no chance in hell.
I told you that, and you know I'm the big Cleveland guy.
Second year,
no chance.
No chance in hell. Toronto gave them no chance. I told you, me and you had this conversation. I said I think Golden State's going to win, but I think it's going to be their biggest finals ever. And KD coming back, blowing it out again. Clay getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? I want to say something too about that because remember we talked about Draymond Green. Draymond Green actually had a great finals.
Which finals is this?
16?
Toronto.
Oh, Toronto? Okay.
Great. He had double digits in every game. Almost double digit rebounds in every game. One game he had 19 rebounds, dude. He had, and looking at that, and listen, and I'm not walking back towards him. I'd already moved walked away. This makes my disrespect for him even more. Because you played that way at the highest level you can play. Them young boys needed you right now, man. And you played like a sucker. And if he was going to be the scapegoat for them to tanking, just say you hurt too and go sit down. Because his stock then dropped. Just say you hurt.
But the check's in the mail.
We're talking about adding more awards to the trophy case.
I don't think he cares. I think he just want to be heard and seen more than the trophy case.
But like Charles Barkley said, and I don't rock with a lot that Charles said. Charles said, when you're playing like crap, shut up.
Yeah, it's not time to. It's not time to.
When you don't have what to back you up, you got to be quiet.
What do we call it?
Yeah.
He was averaging a triple single.
Triple single, man. Pick 5. You cannot do. You got to be quiet now, bro. You got to. You cannot go out here running your mouth. We already know that the tough guy image that you portray is fake.
Yeah,
Tristan showed us that is fake.
When I read your line, and I'm not sure if it's personal fouls or steals, because you know those numbers are usually low. You get 4 or 5 of them.
That's crazy.
And we don't know if that's steals
or
points or what it is. Right? Yeah, you're like, what are we reading here? None.
You think when I look at your stat line and I think I'm reading
Yeah,
backwards?
we're on the right side down here.
You got to be quiet.
Points, rebounds.
You got to be quiet,
assists.
man. Looking at man. I mean,
what you had 6, 3, and 7?
You
fouled out. Huh?
Yeah, he fouling out of games just because he don't want to play.
I don't feel like playing.
I don't feel like playing. I'm about to get two texts. I'm about to try to act like AD is fouling me, get mad at the ref, call him out his name, get 2 texts. I can go in the back and shower and be ready for when y'all done. Didn't help his team, man. That's a guy that got to be quiet. So when he makes statements like, we struggling, like Mike. So so he's comparing himself to Mike and he's calling Steph Curry Scotty. Ain't that what that statement says?
Not too far off.
Man, get out of here, dude.
He wears 23.
Oh my God. He's out of his mind, dude. Like he's out of his mind. Now all this other stuff is coming out. He basically said he got offered to go to Kentucky and said no. He wanted to go to Michigan State. Like, dude, who cares?
Nobody cares.
It's so many players. It's so many NBA players that get offered somewhere and say no and go somewhere else. Dude, why are you talking about that now? Maybe if you would have went to Kentucky, you would have got drafted higher.
Or maybe not. Because he was the man in Michigan State.
He's the Big Ten player.
He might not have been the man.
He was,
in
but
the
that's
SEC.
what I'm saying. But you bringing it up like somebody cares. Nobody cares, bro. Stop talking.
He's another emotional guy with a chip on his shoulder that needs a hug from a woman and not a man.
He got his mom. He got his mom. They do commercials together. That's his mom. And I'm pretty sure Draymond Green got a family. Draymond Green got a wife. Got a child at the house. He got somebody that love him. He keep her off the spotlight. She ain't, you know what I'm saying, in the world. You feel what I'm saying? Go home to your wife, dude. Or do something else. Or work on your game.
I'm a champion.
You feel what I'm saying? Work on your game. You know how I feel about Rico Hines, right?
See these rings?
I feel it's an edited, documented up tape of guys just running up and down looking like we don't even see him there. You can't even go to the. I know what you're doing. You can't even go to Rico Hines and show you working on your game, dude. Champion. Everybody else in the NBA game gets better. His 3-point percentage went down.
3 of them things. I'm the engine that make this thing go.
They can keep talking about that. They can get a new engine and that car will still run smooth. It will still run smooth.
So, freak for him straight up.
Listen, if the Milwaukee Bucks traded Antetokounmpo for Draymond Green, I think they should be forced to sell the organization.
Where did they play at? Who? What's the name of the arena in Milwaukee?
TD. Ain't it TD something?
No, that's Boston.
But theirs is an arena though, right?
Whatever it is.
Yeah, man. Listen,
if they did that, the ground would open up.
But we know that wouldn't happen. But if Detroit say, here, give you Blake,
yes,
it will take Draymond.
That wouldn't happen either.
I would give them Draymond and Pascal for Blake Griffin.
Whoa.
For Blake Griffin. No problem. Wouldn't bat an eyelash. I think Pascal has potential to be solid and almost good.
That's what I'm saying. That's like,
so what? I take
you're doing too much.
I take Blake
Griffin
with the Splash Brothers.
Because
let's go. And they still keep the pick.
Let's not forget, he's an underrated ball handler.
Dude, he can do everything Draymond Green can do, but better.
I didn't want to go there, but yeah.
Everything. It's nothing.
Finish.
Defense. Defense is a lot of teams.
I get it.
Drive them to the team, but Draymond Green defense ain't what it used to be.
And he's undersized.
He was a tad bit overrated then too. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there.
I can't defend it.
They was handing the awards out, and he happened to be on the best team.
I cannot defend people
We put a little extra candy in your trick or treat box.
I can't defend people no more. At the end of the day, man, if they doing that, if send them back home.
Because who did he lock up?
I've seen him have great defensive moments.
Yeah,
and that's what defensive players do.
At no point was the coach coming in saying, "Well, we can't give you the ball today because Draymond is guarding you." We just go over there.
At the end of the day, man,
under no circumstance,
he is not what his contract says he is.
Who was a better defender, KD or Draymond? KD is
I'm gonna leave
KD with GSW is the best he's ever been.
Mm-hmm. That's because we gotta understand something, dog. Defense is about concepts. So if you take somebody who KD wasn't no slouch on D, he was never no ball.
I'm talking about overall player.
But if you take KD and put him on a team where you're surrounded with a Clay and a Draymond and a guy in JaVale McGee that attempts to make you change your shot, it changes the way you play.
Absolutely.
So I'm not
opportunity.
It's putting him on a great. It's plugging him in there where it's a lot of help defense. Look, Draymond Green has quick hands. Draymond Green is somebody who, over his NBA career, has gave you 1.5
and he's strong too
for his career. That is remarkable, especially playing for as long as he plays. So he's mounting up a lot of steals. He got quick hands. He has quick feet. A lot of his gambles are good decisions. Like, he don't be in the wrong place. My problem with Draymond Green is you talk too much. Your offensive skills do not match up what it needs to be. You are a borderline bum if you played somewhere else. If you played somewhere else, you would not have the awards you have. But being on a team like them gives you the opportunity to shine. So when you're averaging 14, 10, and 7 to go along with two people averaging 20 plus, it makes you look great. If you take that 14, 10, and 7 and put him on another team, they're going to be screaming, you need to do more.
For sure, because for one, the 7 going down.
That's why
we exactly.
The 7
and so
going down.
For him to be on a team like this, where Clay's gone, KD has left, Steph has broke his hand, and your statistics do not do anything. They fail. You're not even giving D'Angelo Russell at that point in time help. He trade him. Then you're not even giving Wiggins help. You sitting around here getting thrown out of games and still running your mouth. Shut up. While this is going on, he need to be doing push-ups. He need to be. Listen, man. I think in my personal opinion, I think every professional basketball player should have a hoop in their house. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I would. I have a hoop there. Because it's my... The better I get, the more money I can get. We all know you can get paid because of the team situation. We can pay from that. But if you rely on your statistics, you'll get paid.
I'm a musician. What's over there?
Exactly.
Music.
Exactly.
I feel you.
Exactly.
I feel you.
You feel what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Come on, man. You gotta have this. It just seems, and I could be wrong. Maybe he don't broadcast when he in the gym, but he ain't doing nothing. So I'm gonna assume he ain't doing nothing.
Put it this way. We'll see.
Man, listen, man.
They will play again. We will see.
I think when they play again,
this season's over.
I think that listen,
so
man.
too.
Yeah, this is
over.
If the Golden State Warriors do what they do, healthy Steph, healthy Clay, go get a big fish, land a nice pick, and get somebody that's ready to play out the gate, and they keep Draymond Green. Draymond Green is going to be back looking like he was, man, averaging 9-10 points a game, averaging these. But see, if I'm Steph Curry, I'm telling them off this, your ball handling is over with because you taking away from me now. I got to start eating. I got to start getting my assist stuff.
Now it's about legacy.
It's about legacy now, and the comfortability that we gave you, you got to find your own way, brother. You supposed to be this lockdown defender. Go play D and E then.
If you want the ball, go take it from him.
Go take it from him, man. And then throw it live when we get down there because you ain't about to score on nobody. That ain't your game. So I don't know what Golden State's plans is with him, but I'll be looking to ship him. And it wouldn't be. And I told Ryan, man, if you can't land a Blake for him, I go and see what's up with Orlando, man. See if y'all want to come off Aaron Gordon, man. He got to go.
What about? Would you trade Kevin Love's contract for Draymond Green's contract?
I told you that in a heartbeat. He'll be out of there. Because
would be a stupid
you feel what I'm saying? Because we're not asking Kevin Love to chase down people. Kevin Love, be yourself. Go down there and eat.
And if you want to shoot a 3 or 2,
we're gonna let you.
Because it's gonna be open.
It's gonna be open. And the moment that they is drawing so much attention to Clay and drawing so much attention to Steph, Kevin Love out there with 35 points.
Quiet.
Draymond ain't giving it to
nothing.
Ain't get man in a heartbeat. I would hope that the Cleveland Cavaliers, because I wouldn't want Draymond in the city.
And them outlets.
I want him in the city.
Curry will be laying the ball up.
Man.
Clay will be laying the ball.
God.
Them outlets.
Dude, if they was to do that, man, I'm telling you, man, it is
Wiggins.
It is a dumb team out there that's willing to make that happen.
You're gonna see.
It's a dumb team out there willing to make.
What are they gonna do with Summer League?
Oh, that's over with. I don't even
guys from overseas trying to make it.
I don't even watch the NBA draft. NFL draft. How did they do that? Was people there? It was packed.
I think it was virtual.
I was just watching.
It was virtual.
I see I got my hat on.
It was virtual.
I was just watching the results. I didn't even turn to.
So, okay. I know. I want to ask, how did the WNBA draft? Was that virtual too? Because that just happened.
That was virtual. That one.
Okay, so everything virtual. They can do summer league virtual. They throw one person the ball by itself. Let's see what you can do, man. Let's see what you can do. Yep.
Me and the cone.
Yep.
Me and the.
To be honest, like
in
at
the
the end
ladder.
of the
In the ladder.
that's what you got to do. Because if you don't want these people around, because a guy like Draymond Green need to be virtual somewhere. He got to do something, man. I'm telling you right now, basketball players that squander opportunities, because that's what this is, in my opinion. When you're not getting better, what are you wasting your time on? What are you doing? You're a professional basketball player.
He's with his family.
Man, hey, and you know what? You know what's gonna happen? If he keep not getting working on his game, he gonna be with them for a long time. Because they tell cats in a minute, go home.
Right. We don't need
you. You were undersized 4.
And underly athletic as
so well. If the small ball didn't gain traction, the positionless basketball, Draymond Green be out the league. Because he can't stay in a small forward position.
He can't stay with a 3.
Can't stay with no threes, man. He'll get his salad toss. Pause. Every trip.
Whoa.
Pause.
I'm gonna make sure I don't check the
Whoa.
won't check the child-friendly box on this episode, ladies and gentlemen.
But yeah, man, just
well, listen. This is RDR. This is our recap. You got a little bit of a taste of The Last Dance, episodes 1 and 2. Talked a little bit about some comments that have been made in the media. We got some more work to do, so Make sure you tune in. See that button there where it says subscribe. Make sure you subscribe so you get all the content for YouTube. Also, we made some changes from the podcast format. So the old shows are not there, but you'll gradually start to see those popping up over the next couple weeks. In addition, our new episodes are out as well. Make sure you go to your favorite podcast distributor, whether it be Spreaker, all of that stuff. We will start to roll back out with iHeartRadio and some of those others. It takes a little bit longer to get approved there. Spreaker, for sure, you can find us. I believe it's up on Google Play right now. Apple has not started yet, but that should be soon. And then, within a few weeks, iHeartRadio and those others will pick us up. So we'll be good to go with that. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, follow us on Instagram. We like to talk to you. Get in the comments on YouTube. We want to hear what you guys have to say. And we got some good things planned. Hopefully we can get back to watching some basketball. But in the meantime, we got a lot of stuff on the agenda to talk about. So tune in. We're getting ready to record another show just for you guys to listen to. So we'll talk to you soon. As always, live well, laugh often, and love much. Talk to you soon.
Peace.